Did the Indiana Fever really lose Game 5? Or were they robbed by officials who refused to let them win? Think about it. Aliyah Boston fouls out late on what looked like a clean rebound. Kelsey Mitchell is hacked all night, cramping so badly she lands in the hospital. Odyssey Sims still drops 27 points despite being clipped constantly. And yet, the whistle always leaned Vegas's way. If you thought this game was fair, you probably weren't watching closely. This wasn't a loss, it was a battle through chaos, injuries, and officiating mistakes. This was a series stolen. And the story of what really happened? Nobody wants to talk about it. To understand Game 5, you need to understand the season. The Indiana Fever came into 2025 as a team with potential, but riddled with obstacles. Caitlin Clark, their most important player, missed nearly the entire season due to injury. The team faced multiple season-ending injuries, forcing them to bring in players on hardship contracts just to maintain a rotation. From the first whistle of the season, the question wasn't just whether the Fever could win games. It was whether they could survive them. And survive they did. This team had learned how to fight through adversity. Every loss, every challenge, every injury was a building block in their resilience. Fans had noticed the grit. Every game, the Fever seemed to push against invisible walls. Opposing teams, tough schedules, and now, in the playoffs, something even more frustrating, a referee crew that seemed to have a different game plan. The series against the Las Vegas Aces didn't start with Game 5. From Game 1, a pattern emerged. Whenever Indiana made a push, the whistles seemed to interrupt their flow, tilt possession, and shift energy back to Vegas. Aliyah Boston was called for fouls that would have barely registered in football. Kelsey Mitchell and Lexie Hull fought defenders hand in hand all series long, yet the referees stayed silent. By Game 3, the imbalance wasn't just noticeable, it was glaring. Free throw numbers were heavily tilted toward the Aces, draining Indiana's defensive momentum. Coach Stephanie White summed it up. How do you draw up a strategy when a screen might be illegal one trip and ignored the next? You never know what's coming. Fans could see it. Media voices spoke out. Calls that seemed phantom. Calls that punished Indiana while Vegas received the benefit of every doubt. By Game 4, no one could claim coincidence. The Fever weren't just fighting a team. They were fighting a whistle. Game 5 was supposed to be a battle of skill and will. But the Fever stepped into the arena knowing the odds were stacked. They were facing the reigning champions, a fully healthy Aces roster, and a pattern of officiating that threatened to control the game before a single point was scored. Indiana's lineup was battle-tested, but battered. Kelsey Mitchell was nursing injuries. Aliyah Boston had fouls looming over her every possession. And Odyssey Sims, a late addition to the roster on a hardship contract, had to step up as a leader in ways no one expected. Fans filled the stands, tension crackling in the air. The arena wasn't just a basketball court, it was a battlefield. Every possession mattered. Every whistle could swing momentum. From the tip-off, the intensity was palpable. Indiana made their first run, clawing for every rebound, every loose ball, every second chance. Boston's physicality under the rim set the tone. She wasn't just playing, she was demanding respect, battling for position against bigger defenders, holding the team together as every call seemed to go against her. Odyssey Sims, who had spent most of the season off the roster, became a revelation, driving past defenders, finishing through contact, dishing assists. She kept the Fever alive when the offense threatened to collapse. Every basket she made reminded fans that this team refused to be intimidated. Kelsey Mitchell carried her usual fire, scoring at will despite relentless defense and constant contact. Her body bore the evidence of a night filled with punishment, yet she refused to back down. And yet, the whistle kept leaning Vegas's way. Fans erupted with frustration. Calls that seemed invisible to everyone but the Aces threatened to dictate the outcome. The first half ended, but the tension had only built. The second half wasn't just basketball. It was a grueling test of endurance, courage, and sheer willpower. Every possession was a battle, every rebound a war, and every call from the officials seemed to carry consequences heavier than points. Aliyah Boston, fighting relentlessly for position under the rim, was whistled for what could only be described as a soft, moving screen. Megan Gustafson flailed to the floor with theatrical flair, and the referees rewarded Vegas with an offensive foul on Boston. The crowd erupted in disbelief, their cheers mingling with shouts of frustration. Indiana players gestured, protested, and stared at the referees. But the call held, time ticked down, and the stakes grew ever higher. With less than a minute remaining, Boston battled Jackie Young for a rebound, fighting through every ounce of strength she had left. And then, sixth foul. She was done. Out. Just like that, Indiana lost their all-star center at the most critical moment of the game. A player who had anchored every play and demanded respect at every turn. Kelsey Mitchell, cramping and battered from the physical onslaught she had endured all night, couldn't step into the void. Her body was screaming, yet her heart still burned with determination. Lexie Hull took hits that would have left many players gasping for air, her back straining as she absorbed every blow. Odyssey Sims, the late-season addition turned hero, absorbed contact like a seasoned veteran, refusing to yield despite bruises, fatigue, and the mounting pressure. And yet, despite the adversity, despite the injuries, despite a whistle seemingly determined to tilt the game away from them, the Fever refused to quit. They clawed, they pushed, they persisted. Their effort forced the game into overtime, not because of luck or a fortunate call or a break in the rules, but because this team had learned what it truly meant to fight as one. Against impossible odds, they refused to be broken, proving that heart and determination can create their own momentum, even when the world seems set against you. Odyssey Sims. Sims was the heartbeat of this game. 27 points, 6 assists, 50% shooting. Driving through defenders, finishing strong, and taking over in the clutch, she carried the Fever back into contention. Her courage on the court reminded everyone that heart can often overcome injustice. Kelsey Mitchell, even as cramps overtook her. Mitchell had 15 points before leaving the game, including multiple threes that kept the Fever close. She played through pain, showing why she's one of the most dynamic guards in the league. Aliyah Boston. Boston's presence was felt in every corner of the court. Despite foul trouble, she scored, rebounded, and maintained control under the rim, only to be taken out by a phantom call. Her determination set the tone for the team's resilience. Lexie Hull, playing through a back injury. Hull contributed 12 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists, and became a voice of accountability, demanding fairness and leading by example on both ends of the court. Shea Petty, often overlooked, stepped up when it mattered most, hitting 3 crucial shots from deep and forcing the Aces to defend honestly, giving Sims room to shine. The Fever's depth mattered just as much as the brilliance of their stars. This was a team where every player had a role, and every role mattered. From seasoned veterans providing guidance and stability to players on hardship contracts stepping into high-pressure playoff minutes, each contribution became a crucial thread in the fabric of their fight. Their energy on the bench was contagious, shouting encouragement, clapping, and leaning into every play as if they were on the court themselves. Every substitution, every defensive rotation, every hustle play carried the weight of collective belief. Even the smallest moments told the story of a team united. A loose rebound was wrestled away in traffic, a deflected pass that sparks a fast break, a contested free throw that ignites momentum. These were the details that didn't show up on the stat sheet, but defined the Fever's heart. Each of these moments spoke louder than any scoreboard could. Indiana didn't just play, they fought. They fought through mistakes, injuries, and a string of calls that often seemed stacked against them. They fought through fatigue, through pain, and through the invisible pressure of a series that seemed rigged against their momentum. In these moments, the Fever proved something undeniable. This team wasn't built to crumble under pressure. They were built to rise. Every player, every minute, every hustle play was a testament to a group of athletes who refused to let circumstance or officiating define them. This wasn't just basketball, It was a battle for respect, for pride, and for the identity of a team learning what it truly means to be champions in spirit, if not yet in the record books. Overtime became a battlefield, a stage of pure defiance. With their stars sidelined, the Indiana Fever refused to fade into the shadows of the Aces' dominance. Every possession carried weight, every movement had meaning, and every decision on the court was a statement. Odyssey Sims orchestrated the offense like a general leading troops, slicing through defenders with precision, setting up plays under unimaginable pressure. Lexie Hull patrolled the floor like a relentless sentinel, contesting every shot, intercepting passes, and challenging the Aces at every turn. Aliyah Boston, battling through pain and foul trouble, refused to yield on the boards or in the paint. Each rebound and putback a declaration of resilience. Every basket, every defensive stop, every steal was more than a statistic. It was a message to the league, to the officials, and to themselves. This team would not be dictated by a whistle, nor would they let adversity define them. Even when the calls seemed stacked against them, they played with poise, courage, and unity. The scoreboard didn't tell the whole story. While the Aces may have edged out the win, the Fever claimed something far greater: respect, belief, and proof that they could stand toe-to-toe with champions even in the most impossible circumstances. Their performance transcended numbers. It was a testament to heart, grit, and unshakable determination. Overtime wasn't just extra minutes on the clock, it was a showcase of character, a declaration that the Fever would fight no matter the odds, and a glimpse into the powerhouse this team is becoming. After the game, Lexie Hull spoke with a calm strength that only someone who has fought through every challenge could possess. Ending on a loss is hard, obviously, but we can be proud of the effort we put out there, especially in the fourth quarter. Losing Aliyah, losing Kelsey, and still sending it to overtime, that's something to be proud of. That fight? That's who we are. Her words weren't just about a single game. They captured the essence of this team. A team that has faced injury after injury, lineup after lineup of challenges, and still refused to fold under pressure. Every player on this roster stepped into moments they hadn't expected, made sacrifices for one another, and demonstrated that resilience isn't measured by wins alone. It's measured by heart, determination, and the refusal to quit. Caitlin Clark may return next season, fully healthy, bringing back a superstar whose presence elevates the entire roster. But this group has already learned how to compete without her. Every player gained playoff-tested experience, learning how to handle adversity, how to respond when the odds are stacked against them, and how to trust each other in the heat of battle. They've built a foundation so strong that no referee, no opponent, and no injury could shake it. This season, this series, and this game weren't just tests. They were lessons. And the Fever walked away with something far more valuable than a single win or loss. They walked away knowing that together they can face anything. Their fight, their unity, and their courage have set a standard not just for the league, but for themselves. The Fever's identity, unyielding, fearless, and relentless, has been forged in fire, and the league will see it in full force when they return. This Fever roster isn't just a young team. They are the foundation of a future powerhouse. Clark, Boston, Mitchell, Hull, Cunningham, and Petty have shown grit, toughness, and leadership. Injuries, adversity, questionable officiating, they survived it all. Fans have seen their fight. They've seen their heart, and they've seen that this team can challenge a dynasty. Next season, with the core returning, the Fever aren't just contenders. They're a real threat, but it's not just about talent. It's about character. Every player on this roster has been tested, and every one of them has stepped up. They've learned to trust one another on the court, to communicate without hesitation, to anticipate each other's moves under pressure. That chemistry, the kind that doesn't appear overnight, is what sets this team apart. When one player falls, another rises. When the odds stack against them, they find a way to answer. That resilience isn't taught in drills or practiced in gyms. It's forged in moments like Game 5, when everything seemed stacked against them, and yet they refused to quit. The leadership comes in many forms. Boston anchors the paint, a relentless force no matter how many fouls she picks up. Mitchell carries the offense with poise and fearlessness. Hull and Cunningham bring defense, energy, and composure under chaos. Sims and Petty step into the moments no one expects, turning adversity into opportunity. Even the younger players on this roster have been molded by fire, exposed to high-pressure games, forced to grow up fast, and now ready to contribute at a championship level. This isn't just a collection of talent, it's a culture being built brick by brick, and the league should take notice. The Fever aren't just here to participate, they're here to compete. They're here to rewrite expectations. When they return next season, this isn't a team looking for validation. They're a team demanding respect. And make no mistake, the lessons learned from this season, from this series, and from surviving impossible circumstances will echo in every game, every play, and every challenge the Fever face moving forward. Now it's on us. Stay vocal. Don't let questionable officiating fade into silence. Back this team. Share what happened. Because the Fever's fight deserves support as much as their wins. Their march into 2026 starts now. They're hungrier, stronger, and ready to swing their championship window wide open. Let us know in the comments. What do you think of the refs this series? Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of this journey.